Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm doing a part 2 here to the California fires. If you haven't watched the first video, you can check it out. I'll put a link in the description. I want to thank all of you who watched and shared your thoughts on it. Really appreciate that. Okay, so why am I doing a part 2? I went to bed last night, and it's pretty typical when I go to bed. I enter into an altered state, and then I like to just see what comes because I love what I do. I love learning. I love growing. I love being challenged in my perceptions of things. And I'll tell you what I saw in that journey because it's important. And I fell asleep. I slept so hard. I slept like a brick. It doesn't happen it doesn't really happen often. I can't remember the last time I slept like a brick. I literally woke up at 7 a.m. completely disoriented. I thought it must be, 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning, but no, it was 7 a.m. And I don't know, it didn't feel like I woke myself up. It felt like I was awakened. And then when I woke up, there was this sensation of really beautiful energy just pouring into me like liquid light. That was disorienting too. Like everything about waking up was disorienting. And so I went into this journey because I'm always looking for information. So everything is a cosmic library. It exists everywhere. It exists right here in this video. I am it. You are it. We carry the cosmic library everywhere we go. Everything in nature is the cosmic library. Everything that ever happens, the California fires, is also part of the cosmic library. Everything is the cosmic library. So I love tapping into that library and seeing what I can learn today. So you can have access to it. You don't even need a library card. You just want to go there. Okay, I want to go there all the time. So my psychic experience is just shifting from I am aware of my human world, thinking about human things. Now I'm not thinking about human things, and I'm just allowing myself to go outside of the human box and then just see what I run into, because it's infinite. Okay, so you're going to run into stuff, or stuff is going to run into you, and you'll never consciously know about everything. All right, you're not going to consciously know about infinite numbers of things, but your soul can digest it. But as a human being, we're kind of like, the joy of being human is we're kind of experiencing a limited state of being, okay? So I'll tell you, last night when I went to bed, I've attempted to make this video a couple times, but I don't know why I get paused out before I can actually do the work that I want to do. This is my part 2. I want to do another journey with all of you to continue where I left off this morning. So I'll tell you about last night. I'll tell you about this morning, and then I'm going to do another journey. So if you're new to my channel, I basically project my consciousness into the experience, and I want to look at this current event here with all of you and just look at the energy side of this current event. And what this video topic is going to be about is some of the consciousness I ran into this morning that basically is this conglomeration of souls that are all stuck together. And they represent kind of like I don't like these buzzwords, but the best way I can describe it is a gaslighting personality type. So you have this conglomeration of souls that are actually doing not good things. And they're all stuck together, doing not good things together. And they're on the same bandwagon. They are on the same team, okay? And now let's say what they're doing is evil, all right? So you have good that comes to visit evil. And evil hates good. Like, to evil, good is evil, okay? So now evil will say good is controlling, and good is manipulative, and good is trying to change me, good is stepping on my toes, and good is telling me what to do, and good is... so now it's like, I'm good, you're not good, look at you, you look at what you're doing. So you know how evil is manipulative, okay? But evil just is manipulative to good because it's terrified to transform and then set itself free, so it's not a conglomeration of evil anymore. These are souls now returning to the light, is literally what it is. I hope I explained that well enough. But that's basically what this video is about, because something going on in California, something with these fires, is giving us all the opportunity to see the truth. So I want to support seeing the truth, and anything that's in the way, like a conglomeration of souls stuck together that are afraid of good things, are afraid of the light. It's like the truth is the light, okay? So the lie is a false light, or the lie is the shadow. So lies keep us in the dark. So if we have a conglomeration of souls that are conveniently speaking or speaking together, and they're all in a bandwagon together, and it's hard to break up a group, okay? So you have to have a bigger group to tackle this big group. You have to be a bigger group, okay? So I'm part of a bigger group here that's going to break this up and force the truth, the light of the truth, then to be illuminated, because there's work to do here. And so that's what I'm going to do in this part too. But I'll tell you, when I went to bed last night, something important. Man, my mind's been racing all day, and I've been wanting to make this video all day, and I'm finally making it. Now I have to collect my thoughts because I stopped thinking about it for a few hours, and now, oh, I can make this video now, and I want to, and okay, dang, there was a delay, and now I've got to get back into the mindset that I was in a few hours ago. All right, anyway, so this was important too. When I went to bed last night, I slept really, really good. Unusually good. I slept unusually good last night. So when I went to bed last night, I just kind of opened the door and then see what I run into. And there was this beautiful message. And it basically, there was a humongous mountain in the shape of a tombstone. And I was just like an inch to a big mountain. All right. So I was very small, and this was really big. And this tombstone didn't have a name on it. But it represents a pathway too, a pathway for humanity. But it also represented information. So we're digesting like information. There's no writing here. There's no real information here. There's just like a big block. There's just a big wall. What is a tombstone? What is a pathway for the humanity? That's not really a pathway of life. It's a pathway of death for humanity. And it's about what is the information that we're digesting. And so it got me thinking about that Hawk Tui girl. And like, we all need just silly, superficial things to make us laugh. But there's a lot of that, and it's distracting us away from making sure that we're like watering the garden of ourself with the information that helps us grow. So you have to ask yourself, what information helps you actually grow from the inside out, or helps you kind of escape? Like, there's a lot of information out there that you could just lost in. It's just files and files and files, like these shorts. It's just like another short, another short. Like, how many shorts have you put in your filing cabinet? And then here's a week later, it's like, what did you learn? Like, what did you actually digest? It's literally a pathway to death. It is. So I was thinking about, I was asking myself, am I, like, I'm trying to do something authentic here to the best of my ability, the person that I am. I can only be the person that I am. I can't be anybody but myself, and you can't be anybody but yourself, right? So I have to be completely me, and then from me, I can bring out my cosmic library, so I can bring out my voice and my experience or my vision or my viewpoint on this, and that can be digested by the whole. Whether you're consciously digesting it because you watched the video or you didn't watch the video, you also are digesting that too, because your soul knows everything. So at the highest levels, your soul knows everything. Okay? So you know what I did. If you watched the video or you didn't watch the video, you know what I did. So make sure that you will be assessed. you will assess yourself. When it comes to life and then death, it's your school, it's your learning, it's your experience. So what did you do with your time? You know what I mean? All right, so I went to sleep with these thoughts, all right? And I saw like the earth is this big garden, and then how are we watering the garden? And I had these thoughts too today about the importance of information, then the truth, okay? The truth then is what waters the garden, helps the garden grow, of our minds, of our bodies, of our society. So the truth, right? What is the truth? Sometimes we don't know the truth. This is the best of our ability. I authentically see the truth like this. This is the best of my ability to interpret the truth. This is the best I can offer. Okay, that is really awesome. I love that. That is the best you can offer. I freaking appreciate that so much. But it's like, this is the truth. It's always been the truth. Hello, like, and if you don't believe me, then you're stupid. That's like, Don't feel like you're comfortable with yourself and how you feel about your idea of the truth, because you're trying to make me feel uncomfortable and keep me away from asking you questions. That's a fear of representing the authentic truth. So it's a fear of authenticity. And I don't think any of us should ever be afraid of being authentic. It's like the most important thing that we as human beings could be is authentic. So I feel like this California fires, it's an opportunity for authentic truth to come forward, and for the authentic truth to be hunted down. I did that video on the drones, and we have to keep pressing and pressing for the truth to come out. And we need to demand the truth, actually. Will we be fed the truth? Well, we have to keep pushing and pushing. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, okay? So if we want the truth of things, we got to not give up on seeking that. And I feel like we can get that. I feel like we can get that. And I find it interesting that I'm attracted to these current events because, you know, I have a lot of videos, I have a lot of videos, and I'm like shifting into this as a pathway of exploring our world and what we're up to as a collective and what I can do to help in the midst of things that are big events that are happening. And one of the things that I want to see, and one of the things that I feel like is going to happen this year, change, but change that is benevolent, change that is angelic, and that the light is going to have a lot more power. And the light that is the light of the truth shall light the way. So anything else is what then? And what does it create? So if the truth lights the way, then what does like lies do? Do lies light the way? And now ask yourself if you're a liar. Are you being honest about things? Or are you conveniently saying things to protect yourself, but you're not really protecting anybody? You're just stalling out the process of time and the shame and the guilt that you would feel if you did tell the truth. So it's like soul learning. It's like we need to just embrace the soul learning and move forward. And this is going to be healthy, okay? Like this honest truth stuff is so freaking juicy and good. Don't you like an honest person? Like somebody who did a bad thing, but they came out and said, you know what, I freaking did that. I don't want to hate somebody that actually came out and admitted to doing some atrocity and saying, I'm here for you all to hate my guts. I did that. And I actually want to talk about it, and I want to expose myself, and I'm willing to be hauled off to prison for this, if that's what it takes, because I want to reconcile my soul. And all reconciling your soul is coming back to life with your true self. So the further you go down the rabbit hole of losing yourself to something, like it could be addiction, it could be addiction to lying, or addiction to porn, or addiction. So you're kind of giving yourself, you're giving up yourself to have an experience, and then you're immersing yourself in that experience and trying to come back to yourself again. And then you're going to be on a teeter-totter of, is this me? Is this the me that I want to be? And this stuff can be pretty simple, but this stuff can go really freaking deep. And then you could actually become very hollow and very dangerous type of human being. It's kind of hard for those ones to get found out about. But I wanted to tell you guys another thing. Man, I've been talking for a while. I'll try to make this quick. So, okay. So the thing that I was wanting to say is that the truth will light the way, and that I'm going to do whatever I can to help move the energy so that the truth can come out on this California fires thing. I still want the truth to come out on the drones thing. Like, I want the truth to come out. I don't want to stop thinking about these things and demanding the truth in my soul or in our collective, because that's what I want. So when I woke up this morning, I was disoriented, and I looked into it. It was weird because there's a weird introductory part, and I think I'll just kind of skip that, because it was, I don't know if that necessarily pertains to what happens next. Basically, I saw myself standing on a cube, like a Rubik's cube, and each part of the Rubik's cube was a door. So it was like a little trap door on the top and little doors on the side and stuff. And so I was standing on this cube, and I was trying to lift this trap door, but I was also standing on the very trap door I was trying to lift. And I wasn't really consciously aware of what I was doing. And when I was watching this, I was watching myself in this space doing this thing. I started to notice that this was actually good, that I was standing on the trap door, because it literally was a trap. So if I would have gone into that cube, I would have been an even smaller universe than the universe that I had gotten put into. I don't know. So I don't, like, everything happens for all the right reasons, but something has changed. And I believe freedom of speech is shifting and changing. So basically, I broke out of a very small container that I obviously needed to be in. But what I came across once I broke out of that container was this conglomeration of souls, and I was disoriented to see them all. And I do believe that they are containing freedom of speech. They're trying to control it so that if you can control freedom of speech, like what does freedom of speech give us access to? Free thought, free, it's like an educational experience. It's the only way to actually get to know each other authentically. So who would be afraid of authentic people? Who's afraid of authentic people? Inauthentic people, okay? Like the gaslighter types or the narcissist types, like the buzzword type of people that make you feel bad about being a good person by telling you you're a bad person and then trying to get you to believe it because they're really the hollow, empty shell, okay? So we have to be really self-aware of where we stand and who we are. And if we are truly authentic, then there's nothing wrong with us. And then we're just being our honest expression. So there's only an educated experience happening here, and we can only truly love each other when we're authentic with one another. So now I was facing this big conglomeration, and I wasn't quite sure what to do. Because I had to break it apart was the thing that I had to do. And I ended up I had to slowly time it out in incremental phases until it was completely stalled out. Then I covered it with like freeze, and then I shattered it, and all these little pieces of souls just broke apart and scattered everywhere. And I was like, what do I do with all of these? And so I started to bubble them up, but once I bubbled them up, they were starting to like drift away. And so I asked for some advice from a very unusual being, and I could tell you what this being is like, but it might confuse people. Basically, so this being specifically helps souls that are reconciling their life path. They have to revisit everything they did and then how that impacted everybody, and then what their future looked like based upon the learning that they gave them, and then how do they feel about that. So once you have to face what you've done, it's very hardcore, okay? So souls that have done atrocious things, like it can be very hardcore. And now they go through like their own hell experience that they create for themselves. So this is like a guide, kind of like a demonic guide, but it's also an angelic, like it's all angelic, but it's the type of angel that can access the darkest parts of souls going through transformation in order to come back, continue learning, and grow out of their vulnerability to certain, like 7 deadly sins. Like they're vulnerable to pride, or they're vulnerable to greed. So when they come back, they're vulnerable to these things, okay? So I was asking this being, because I didn't really know what this represented. And I was asking this being, like, what do I do with these souls? And then this being said, oh, well, these souls aren't dead yet. So you can help them. Like you can still help them. And I was like, but how? I don't know how to help them, because it was very confusing, the energy. I mean, obviously I can put love into them, but something inside me was saying, I need time. Like I just need time. So I always have to honor that. This isn't just like I get to think and then I do. No, this is all authentic, soul level, soul-centered behaviors. So I can only honor my soul level behavior. That's all I can do. I can't force it to be anything else, because then I'm lying to myself, okay, in the energy world. That's why the energy world is the most honest place you can ever go, because frequency can't lie. So if you're manipulating me, oh, this smells like manipulation. What are you all about, huh? So you can see through the layers and the masks and stuff like that. And it also helps you then to truly break down all the layers of yourself, so you can start to be even more authentic. And you can see yourself more clearly in the mirror. So anyway, it was God that ended up coming, because there were like four from this huge conglomeration. And this huge conglomeration is in California, by the way. This could be politics. This could be people working with people, and grimy inspirations, like really grimy inspirations. And they're all stuck together. They're all working together. And then anything that wants to disrupt it, the good wants to come in to reconcile the evil, which is really just harmonize the energy and bring things back to life. Evil hates that, because evil is evil so that it can continue to do evil things, which is death things, destroying things while it is still alive. Like, I get to be alive and kill everything around me. Yay! That's like chaos, okay? That's evil stuff. So when good comes in, it threatens evil. It actually kills evil. So how does it kill evil? Well, it destroys evil. So then evil has to reconcile itself And then there's shame and there's guilt and there's all this soul level work to do in a human body, and it's embarrassing and stuff like that. So it's good. It's very good. So we should always respect souls for the learning, even if they've done atrocious things. If we can expose them to themselves and bring them out, we should be like, thank God, you know. And you know what? I respect you for your life learning and who you had to be in this life and the hardship you're going to have to go through to work through this inside your own soul, because this is, I'm telling you, souls that have to work through their messed up things they've done, it is hardcore. It is like, it is not easy. That too is a school, okay, of learning. So in the energy world, in the human world, we hate these people, but in the energy world, there is actually always respect for all souls, okay? So anyway, so God came in, and there was these four, and these four were saying, no, we're not a part of them. We're different. We're different. We're just new to all this. We didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, you know? And so there was this question of, well, are they all the same? Are they different? Are they different levels of like evil? like these are more innocent evil people? Like, what are we doing with this? So God just put light into all of it. And then what God did with these four was empower these four to find the courage to speak the truth about what they know, even if it destroys them for the rest of their life. That's hardcore, right? So they happen to be the soul that got entangled in the thing, and now they're the ones that are speaking the truth to reconcile their soul, to fix everything, to bring it all back to life. That's hardcore, you know? So anyway, I saw that and I was like, oh man, it's like freaking 21 minutes later and I haven't done this journey yet. I try to like keep these into a comfortable 30 minutes because we're all busy, you know. But I saw that this morning. I hope it all makes sense. But anyway, I just need to pause and see if there was anything else that I wanted to say, because I just really feel like this thing keeps echoing my head that the truth will light the way, the truth will light the way. And that's what I had to go back to, was all those souls, because I couldn't really finish the job because I had to move on with my life, you know? So I can't just, things don't just get a beginning or an end. They just like, I have to just kind of jump in wherever. If I have to come back to it, it is what it is, you know? So I wanted to jump back into it with all of you. All right, I'm just going to say that, and I'm going to do this with my eyes open, which I think is interesting, because in that last journey, I did it with my eyes closed, and then I'm going to do this with my eyes open. So I'm doing this to represent, you know, this whole, like the way it's been in California, eyes closed. Like maybe our eyes have been opened so much more now because of what has happened. All of our eyes are open. All of us are looking to California, right? All of us are looking to California, and we're all brothers and sisters. Like, everybody matters. And we got to reconcile all this stuff and bring the good back out into society, right? Okay. All right, so here we begin. This is about California. I'm talking to my guides right now. I'm just in the zone here. So my eyes are open, representing our eyes are open. Eyes are closed. Now eyes are open. And I'm talking to my guides about California, and I want to continue the journey here. I want to continue to heal this energy, specifically energies that are imprisoning the freedom of the truth. Like us having access to the truth. If we have access to lies, we're imprisoned. We're imprisoned by those lies. If we have access to the truth, then we are truly free to make our own authentic decisions and to know what the truth is. It can change us, deeply change us for good. So, oh, it's disgusting. I'm just going to be me as I go through. So there's a giant door made out of a sticky, gooey tar, but that's not the disgusting part. It's the energy that it's made out of. It's not just made out of filthy things. You could say it's made out of memory. And what could memory, we're talking about many souls with many memories. And these memories aren't good. They aren't good memories. They're worst nightmare. They're trauma level memories. They're horrifying memories. They're scream level memories. So when memories then build up, right, it's soul residue building up here. It's terror, it's building up here to make this door, oh, what a special door. So it's just covered in filth. It's a filthy door of horrifying memories. That exists here, so I'm being shown this. In the energy world, this exists here. This is what I have to do next. This is about everything I've talked about and the next thing. So right now I feel like it's no big deal. I can just walk right through this, but something in me is deciding to wait a minute. And I'm waiting a minute, so I'm just going to look at this door for a very, 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 very long time. Is what's most important on the other side of this door, is what's most important reconciling these memories that maintain the door itself. So to reconcile the memories, the door just disappears, right? And any soul can reconcile a billion memories like that fast. It's all just pure love, right? Pure love, it reconciles it. This stuff is like, there's a lot of different voices in here. And the voices are holding on to their trauma because they want their memories, they want to be known that they existed. So what is the degree of horror that could be secretly happening in this location of California? This is what this reminds me of, secret horrors. And those that endured those horrors want their story to be known. And that's why they don't ever leave their horror story, because they want their story to be known, and only then can they be set free. It's like the ghost. It's just still holding on to its own memory. It just needs some help. What I do is I see every individual one of these. And I basically separate my soul into enough parts that I can actually sit with each and every one of these memories. And then I take the time to listen to every single one. And to hug them for their life story. Because they're part of the cosmic library that we all get to know who they are. We already know who they are in our hearts. I hug them all. And just because I care, just because I want them to feel better, that's already a huge event. That alone is already a huge event. And I start to see the door, just like I feel it shift like an exhale. But there's the next thing is there's a lot of fire everywhere in this space, and it's like I feel it in my emotional gut. I feel like I'm digesting something really dense, is what it feels like. And it's a disorienting feeling. But that's me just digesting the energy and the authentic experience of it. And it's not that I'm seeking or searching for anyone's soul. I'm actually transforming the material and what it seems to be made out of. So this structure, I talked about that. It's the breakdown of the structure in that last video. So I'm breaking down the structure too with love. However it is tied to our physical plane, I'm dissolving this structure. Because the soul's holding onto their horror story is not the solution here. The soul's being set free then creates the physical event where we actually are aware of what's going on, secret stuff, so that we are all set free, because we're all a part of this door, you could say, on some level. Consciously or unconsciously, we all are a part of everyone, everywhere, everything, all of time. So I'm reconciling your soul that's part of that door, as well as mine, as well as those who have really, really direct experience with that door. So when I look at the ground is the next thing that I do. Everything's on fire in here. But it doesn't like burn down in this energy space. It's just on fire, but it doesn't burn down. So I'm looking at the floor. I draw a symbol on it made out of golden light. And I start to get this sense of anger and rage. Like, how dare you walk into my home? How dare you think that you can come into my home? I was like, I kind of really care. This is what I'm called to do. This is where I'm called to be. I'll do this. This is my authentic next step. Nothing of you is more powerful than my authentic next step. I don't even focus on it. I just focus on this golden symbol, which is simple and yet complicated because I don't know how to describe it. I want to say it's as simple as just a circle with a V in it, but the longer I look at it, the more there's really complex symbols in here. And now something pops, like I hear it like pop, like a shoulder out of place pops into place, or like cork just pops out of the bottle. Like it's a loud pop noise. It's again the like tunnel. It stinks. It smells like sewage. And I jump down there. It's quiet down here. Super quiet, and there's no fire, and it's slightly cold down here. And what I do is I just sit down in the cesspool. It's just poopy down here. It's just energetic poop. It's just filthy material is what it is. The water is speaking to me. It's memory as well. There's water in between the plops everywhere. It's gross. All right, so the water's got a female energy to it. Oh, she's entering into my whole being here. I'm drawing all the water inside myself. And then I snap my fingers and this place dries up completely and it disappears and I'm already back up the pipe. I think this reminds me of what firefighters do, like people who rescue people are heroes. And we can rescue people as firefighters, we can rescue people just by being good listeners. There's all different ways that we can all be heroes of rescuing people. It just feels very firefighter-like, very heroic firefighter-like energy. And that energy is really positive for bringing the truth to the surface because it's all about love. Love is fixing this problem. Bravery is fixing this problem. Good people are fixing this problem. It's not for me to look at that rage yet. It's just for me to have this water energy, and I don't know what it means. I tell God, I say, boy, this space is really neutral. It's got a lot of neutral parts, so it's hard for me to assess things, but I do know it's not time for me to look at that rage just yet. But I ask God about this water, this feminine energy. Oh, the water creates a door, and then I walk through that door. And I start to see a beautiful other world. And a memory, a voice, a song. And it's just like a water world, but there's total nature here, but it's not swamp-like. It's really clean, pristine, but there's trees that grow in the water. Everything seems to be in the water, and the water's it's not very deep. Maybe like a couple inches deep, but it gets really deep in some places and then not deep in others. There's no insects here. I don't even know if there's animals here. It just seems to be plants and water here. And then she asked me to place the energy of this other space. This is like another dimensional space that is aware of this problem in California. And then I overlay the energy of this space onto the fires in California. And it's a frequency medicine. And it's so joyful for this water plant dimension to have access to the frequencies of the fire and the destruction. As it is, in some way, there's been a starvation for new experiences there. And this is an opportunity to connect with Earth, new experiences. Because as much as it's like there's a beautiful sound that exists here, it's like through hearing the same song over and over and over again. Yeah, it's tranquil, it's peaceful, but it really wants to access more, something new. So I'm letting it inhale and exhale. It's not just the fires, it's the spiritual energy too. It's the soul energy, it's the memories, it's the horror stories, it's all of that. This is a beautiful, loving, feminine energy. It's like a Mother Mary type energy. It's like a blanket of pure love, neutralization. It's like the most loving energy. And it feels so blessed and so grateful to help. That's cool. All right. So I'm standing here and I'm listening to that rage. The rage is terrified. It's not really raging at me because now it knows it's losing the battle. It's like you created your own war. You're losing a battle with yourself. That was the thing. I was supposed to articulate that. I tried to articulate that at the beginning, and I'm only articulating it now. It was that where the conglomeration of souls that create this sort of evil doers of the world, you could say, are in a war with themselves, and they're undoing themselves. So we just need to let them keep undoing themselves, and we need to keep pushing for the truth. We need to keep pushing for the truth because their greatest vulnerability is themselves, and it's not working anymore. So they're going to get found out about. The more things that they try to control, the more they're just going to expose people to themselves. And then they're just going to fall apart. I just see, again, this structure of control, the structure of manipulation, the structure of the evildoer concept, the hollow person concept is actually undoing themselves. And they're going to be exposed as a liar, or they're going to be exposed as a malicious doer, a wrongdoer, a purposefully wrongdoer. Like they did wrong on purpose. And it doesn't matter what they say because nobody's listening anymore. And where the shadow was once somehow enticing enough for us to pay attention to it, it's not so enticing anymore because it was the gravestone. Like it's just the pathway to our death, but there's no name on that gravestone because it isn't our actual pathway. It's just this time right now. And it's really just the death of this energy is undoing itself. And the shadow isn't as enticing as it once was. And we're seeking more of the light, or the truth is what we are seeking to digest the truth. We're starving for the truth. And the truth comes with growth. Like whether you like a spiritual truth or maybe you just like a practical truth, truth, it helps things grow, you know? It helps us all grow. We can learn from each other. It's wonderful. So the rage is trying to run away because it's terrified of being exposed, but I stop time. I say you're out of time. And I create extraordinary gravity here for all souls that are trying to run away and get away with what they've done. You're out of time now. So I create extraordinary gravity so they can't run away anymore. And I tell them it's in your best interest because you're going to want to reconcile this. You're going to want to start reconciling this now. It's better that you reconcile this now. No matter what it's like for you, it's a good thing. And there are those of us who actually respect people who, even if you did an atrocious thing, if you had the courage to admit it and to take the fall, thank you for doing that because you're making it a better world because you found the courage to do that. Thank you for doing that. Everybody needed you to do that. Thank you for doing that. it's a waste of time for us to hate these people. Waste of time. Because we want to get to the growing and the garden watering and stuff like that. And I love the thought of California, like in this area where the fire was having this like the biggest university in the whole wide world you can find here in this location, and you can learn whatever you want to learn. And that we're actually seeding the world here in this location with intelligent minds. How freaking cool is that thought? The most sacred thing is so honoring of everyone. It's honoring of the future too. So I'm starting to see dimensional layers shattering, 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 shattering. Again, the structure is breaking down. And I say you will not get away with this. And you don't want to get away with this. And then I'm having them say, I will not get away with this. And you know, I don't want to get away with this. I don't want to get away with this. I want to stop hiding, stop running, stop lying. And I hug all of them. And I say you're doing the right thing. And I show them how beautiful all their souls are. And I say you will earn this back with every good deed that you do. And then you can be proud to be who you are again. Because you're not very proud to be who you are when you start to open your eyes to what you have done. And that's the process of getting your soul back. It takes time, but you will get there. The whole country of America, even in the center of the country for some reason, is this giant hole. And it just, all of a sudden I just see the United States and I see this giant hole. It's like, let's just say maybe Texas up, maybe even up to Iowa. I don't think it goes all the way up to Minnesota, but it's just rounded. So it's in the center, this big hole. And all these screaming, I don't know, bat-like things are, they have bodies and they're attached to bat-like wings and they're screaming. And they're coming out of a dark hole in the ground. And they're just guided to wherever they need to go next. I mean, and it's kind of like a giant burp for the earth. Or just like did a big belch. And now I start to feel this like ripple, and that hole is disappearing. And everything feels a little bit easier, a little more relaxed. But I get this message that there's still a lot of work to do, That it's like, you know, it's really fun to have so much work to do. Like there's so much purpose. Like it's like all hands on deck, and there's purpose for everyone here. And it's so exciting to be alive today. Like today, to be alive, wow, what an exciting time. Because there's so much purpose. And the purpose is to do good things. It's like, whistle while you work and do good things. There's so much purpose. And there's a big hug for all of us. And not to forget your goodness, you know? Not to forget your innocence. Not to forget your authentic nature. Not to forget to be kind, right? Because it's the right thing to do. If you can do it, do it. And smile because you did it. This feels good. So that's what I've got. All right. There's a lot of conversation there and journey message. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Thank you all for your comments. If I can help you individually in a session, you can book a session at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I'm also on Patreon at patreon.com/abbeynormalswisdomquest. Have a great day, everybody.